Hello again, my name's Gabe Zolna. This is the 9th of July 2016. And got a question. Do you think that the news media should assume any responsibility for all of those police that were murdered in Dallas, Texas? We had 5 officers that are going to be buried soon. And we had, another 5 officers and 2 citizens that were wounded. Now you want to ask yourself a question. Why were they shot? Well, they were shot because the media incited a lot of people. Well, how'd they do that? What were we told? Well, we were told that Alton Sterling was murdered by police. We were told that he was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, just selling CDs. And we were told that police came up and shot him to death. Then we find out that Alton Sterling was a felon. He was armed. We find out that he went ahead and he tried to hold up, by intimidation, a homeless man. It was the homeless man that called the police. And they told the police that this guy selling CDs tried to get him to give him money, and he brandished a weapon. So the police knew that Alton Sterling was armed. They didn't know who he was, they just know that he was armed. They come on the scene, they know he's armed, he resists, they jump on top of him, they get him to the ground, and one of the officers yells, "Gun, gun, gun," because I gotta believe Alton Sterling was going for his gun. And then they shoot him. The next scenario that we hear is by a guy by the name of Philander Castile. And he's with his girlfriend sitting in a car, supposedly sitting in a car. They're driving. A police officer pulls up behind the car, notices Philander Castile, and he matches the description of someone that they're looking for that was involved in an armed holdup. And he's able to do a legal stop because one of the taillights is broken on this car. So what are we told? Well, not only are we told, Philander Castile's girlfriend has her phone and she live streams what she said happened. And what she said happened is they were in a car, the police pulled him over, came over, and killed her fiancé, Philander Castile, murdered him in cold blood. She said that he had a concealed carry weapons permit and he was legally able to own a weapon. So what happened then? Well, that went viral. And when it went viral, a lot of these mental degenerates that are out there got upset. One in particular in Dallas, Texas. So what did he do? Well, he went hunting for cops. And he murdered 5 cops. And he shot another 7 people, 2 of which were innocent citizens, and the rest were cops that are doing their job to try to protect the American people from people like the guy that shot them. And what did we learn about Philander Castile? Well, what we learned about Philander Castile isn't what we were told by his fiancée. What we learned about Philander Castile is that the police officer that stopped him, who by the way was not Caucasian, he was Oriental. And what did we learn? Well, we learned that the police officer spotted him in the car with his fiancée, didn't know it was fiancée, just another woman, and he thought that Philander Castile resembled someone that they were looking for who was involved in an armed robbery of a convenience store 3 days prior. So what that did is it alerted the officer that this gentleman, whoever it is, might be armed. So when he pulled the car over because of a broken taillight, he approached Philander Castile with his weapon. He had the weapon pointed right at Philander Castile. He told Philander Castile not to move when he noticed that Philander Castile had his weapon on his lap. Now, all of that was picked up on police scanners. Some of it was picked up and recorded by citizens. So we know that that is exactly what happened. It wasn't a matter of it being fabricated to try to protect the police. We've got a guy that went ahead and robbed a store, and he resisted arrest, and he was reaching for his gun when he was ordered not to move. When a policeman orders you not to move, you don't move. And the policeman saw the weapon, and according to what's also been reported in that video link that his fiancée put out on the web, on Facebook, you can get a glimpse of part of the gun on Philander Castile's lap. The officer fired his weapon. What did you expect him to do? Did you expect him to wait until Philander Castile shot him and killed him? So the media, I believe, should be held accountable for what happened, because the media reported information that wasn't true and accurate. And because they reported information that wasn't true and accurate, we had the Dallas shooter go on his rampage. And we had people all over the country doing pretty much the same thing. In 7 cities, they had Black Lives Matter protests. This is totally unacceptable. And the media needs to assume some responsibility for what happened. They should be held liable. They should be held financially liable to the families in Dallas that lost their loved ones because of their reporting. Their reporting was not true and accurate. And this is what happens when the media goes off half-cocked. You know, I did a video, a couple of days ago, and I talked about Philander Castile. It took Fox News 2 days to report what I just told you that I reported in a video 2 days ago. You think maybe if that would have gone out sooner, cops wouldn't have been shot? I understand that police were shot in Alabama. They were shot in Mississippi. I don't know if they were killed or not, but they were shot. All because of this erroneous reporting. The media needs to stop. They need to stop inviting congressmen on. They need to stop doing what they do, because all they're doing is causing more mayhem and havoc in this country, and we have enough of that. And like I said, the media should be held responsible and financially accountable to those families, because if they wouldn't have reported what they reported, which was totally inaccurate, the Black Lives Matter protesters wouldn't have done what they did, and that mentally degenerate 23 or 24-year-old in Dallas wouldn't have done what he did. And Louis Farrakhan wouldn't have done what Louis Farrakhan did to fire him up. Louis Farrakhan went on a rant 3 hours before those shootings took place. Think what you like, folks. Look at the pieces of the puzzle and ask yourself, am I saying anything that doesn't make sense? Am I saying anything that isn't truthful? Do you not think that the media is responsible by reporting inaccurate information that fired up the savages? Tell me where I'm wrong. You can't, can you?